Yo, what is good everybody? It's your boy Tej. In this video I'm going to be showing y'all how to make some hard beats similar to Chichi in Section 8, and the type of style of this beat is going to be similar to stuff that they have in their producer vlogs. I made the entire beat from scratch, so I'm going to be showing y'all my whole process of creating the loop and adding the drums. As always, I'll have the finished beat played at the end of the video, so be sure to stick around for that. And with all that out of the way, let's just hop right into the beat. If y'all been watching my recent tutorials, I think you know the drill by now. I'm gonna show y'all a quick preview of that sample. For this beat specifically, I used a tempo of 157. I'd say anything like 145 to like 165 works pretty well. All right, so for a few sounds in the sample, I used this Pandora VST, and this is a pretty neat and versatile VST. It's got a whole bunch of different sounds from like 808s to acoustic drum kits, basses, normal keys, pads, synths, and all sorts of other stuff. And I'll show y'all some of the presets so you can kind of get an idea of some of the sounds that are in the VST. Overall, this VST's got some pretty interesting sounds and is definitely great for more ambient sounding beats like this. If you're interested, you want to look into it further, I'll leave some more details in the description. And if you want to get it for yourself, if you use code TEJ20 at checkout, you'll get 20 bucks off your purchase. So the first sound that I used in this beat was this bell pad pure preset. And I just went in and put this pattern in E minor. So if you look at the pattern right here, you can see that most of the notes kind of fall within the E minor triad or the E suspended 2 triad. And I just kind of ran up and down this 5-note interval here just between the first and the fifth notes of the scale. And once I had the first 4 measures, I just copied it over for the full length of the pattern. So I put that into a mixer track and I put some RC20 on it, and I got this Lush and Crunch Guitar 2 preset. And I just turned off the noise and adjusted the space and distortion a little bit. And this is what's giving it that more detuned and spacey kind of sound. Next, I went into Keyscape and I got this grand piano preset. And I just went in, put in some bass notes for the pattern. Again, this is just using the E minor scale. So I just started off with the first note in the scale. And then I went down to C, which is the 6th note in the scale. And for the last measure, I just put D, which just leads back into E. And then I opened up another instance of Pandora and I got the sub bass preset, and I just copied those same bass notes from the previous piano pattern. And then after that, I went back to Keyscape and I got that same piano preset, and I put in these lead-in piano rolls or licks or whatever you want to call them. Again, kind of similar to the bassist melody, I just ran up or down the E minor scale. And as you can see on the bottom, I also rolled up the velocity so that it gets louder as the keys play. And for effects on that, I put a bandpass EQ and put on some reverb, went to the venue preset and just adjusted the dry, wet, and the cut knobs. Lastly, I opened up another instance of Pandora and I got the strings preset from there. And just following the bass notes, I just put in those chords corresponding to the notes in the E minor scale. So E minor, C major, and D major. And so I took all those and I rendered them out as audio clips, and I arranged the whole sample and put the stems in at the end, and then I rendered it out as a WAV file. I forgot to mention earlier on the master, I put this EQ here just to cut out some of the harsher frequencies. After I did that, I put that file into a new FLP and I took the stems and arranged the full melody. I'd probably just arrange like this much or so, or maybe like this much, and just went and adjusted it as I was arranging the rest of the beat. And while I was arranging it, I also pitched it down by 2 half steps, and I also lowered the tempo to 151 BPM. And once I had done all that, I added the drums and I finished the rest of the beat. For my first drum sound, I got this clap from my drum kit. and just put in a really simple clap pattern. Next, I put in this hi-hat pattern. I believe I got the inspiration for this and like the snare from Max Shooter 49 video. I was just kind of watching it and I really liked what he did with the hi-hats, so credits to him. I didn't really come up with this too originally. The basic premise is you kind of want to use like a two-step pattern, but you want to leave enough space for some of the other drums, and you don't want to go too crazy on the rolls, but you definitely do want to add a little bit of variation to your own stuff. And then at the end here, to correspond with my 808 and some of my snare rolls, I went into the 1/3 beat snap setting and then just put in the hi-hats like that at the end. Next, I added my first of 2 open hats. So for the ones you see highlighted here, I use those to accent the 808, and these ones just hit where they normally would. And for the open hat hits that were missing in the last pattern, I filled it in with this open hat. And then I added the snare pattern. I kept the pretty standard spots for the hits, and I just threw in a couple rolls here, and then the end one here, I believe I used like the 1/3 step snap for the roll or something like that. And to kind of accent those first snares, I just threw in this rim. And lastly, just to tie it all together, I put in this 808 pattern. Overall, I think it's fairly straightforward in terms of what I did. I just followed the same bass notes I had in the sub bass and the bass piano pattern in the sample. And then at the end, like I mentioned earlier, I just used the 1/3 beat snap setting and made this last little roll here. So that's going to do it for me. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Hope you're able to take something away from it and find it helpful. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit subscribe. Leave any recommendations or feedback you might have in the comments below. And that's all. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Why don't you run with this, Tej?